Please welcome to the stage our MC for this evening from iHeartMedia, Lauren Smith.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 2025 Thrive Gala. My name is Lauren Smith, but you will probably better know me as Schmitty from Wood Radio, 104.5 SNX, and Star 105.7. Yes, we are the ones that started the Christmas music this week. I am so excited to be your MC for this very special evening. As someone who's used to joining you on your morning commute, bright and early, it's really great to be with you all late in the evening. I cannot wait to see what else this night has in store. I'm proud to say that my entire career of hosting, podcasting, and storytelling has been right here in West Michigan. And I've had the unique perspective of seeing our community take shape with the help of amazing healthcare organizations. And at the center of that story is Mary Free Bed, a place that continues to redefine what's possible in rehabilitation, not just here in West Michigan, but across the nation. Being part of the Mary Free Bed community, and especially nights like this, is one of the most fulfilling and favorite parts of my job. Events like Thrive remind us why we do what we do, to celebrate strength, resilience, and the incredible people who make recovery and independence possible. Whether this is your first Thrive or you've been joining us for many years, thank you for being here tonight. Your presence and your generosity truly helps our patients and families thrive. Before we really get started on the evening, we would like a moment to recognize some of our very generous sponsors who made tonight entirely possible. A special thank you to our presenting sponsor, Buist, for their support. As a long-time electrical contractor at Mary Free Bed, their work has literally shaped spaces and caring for the healing that's happening across campuses. We're incredibly grateful for how their generosity through Thrive has shaped critical programs as well, truly. I also want to thank more of our generous donors, and I can tell we're feeling good tonight. We're very lit, we're very entertaining. So if we could just take a moment, get through those sponsors, and then give them a huge round of applause to make it even bigger for them. I want to thank our bar sponsor, Pet Supplies Plus. Our photo booth sponsor, Miller Johnson Attorneys. Thank you to our elite reception sponsor, the Curry Foundation. Our entertainment sponsor, Merrill Lynch, a Bank of America company. Our technology sponsor, Trace3. Our welcome sponsor, Cavallo. And thank you to our Afterglow party sponsor, Jenny and Peterson Foundation. I cannot wait to see that later on. Our Wow Moment sponsor, the Steve and Amy Van Andel Foundation. Our Orange Carpet sponsor, CareLink Medical Equipment and Supply. Woo, our dessert sponsor, Secure Alarm. You guys see those on your table? Here's the deal, we're all adults here, so if you want to eat that before your dinner, no one's going to judge. Our lounge sponsor, Joan Secchia. And last but certainly not least, thank you to our freedom sponsor, Mary Free Bed at Home. A huge round of applause. So incredibly generous. Now that's just the beginning of the support surrounding Thrive tonight. You can see the complete list of all of our wonderful sponsors listed right in your program, and we really want to thank each and every one of them one more time. And to each and every one of you here tonight, just by being here, you ensure that Mary Free Bed can continue providing world-class rehabilitation and compassionate care to every single person who comes through their door. Give it up for yourselves. Now, I don't want to spoil too much of what's to come, but tonight we are raising funds to support our nursing scholarship program at Mary Free Bed. You may have noticed tonight we're covered in shades of blue. That's very intentional. It's a nod to the different shades of blue worn by the nursing teams at Mary Free Bed. And did you know the color blue happens to symbolize trust and healing in healthcare, which makes perfect sense for our wonderful nurses, doesn't it? The blue colors transitioned into our theme for tonight, making waves in healthcare. Just as waves spread outward, the impact of a single nurse extends far beyond one patient or one moment. And I'm confident each one of us knows and loves a nurse. Your support tonight ensures that we can continue developing more of these talented, compassionate nurses for generations to come. You're also going to hear from patients whose lives have been deeply touched by our nurses. And you may even meet a few of them this evening. I would love to see, where are our nurses in the room tonight? You know, tonight is all about making waves, waves of hope and freedom. There is no one who embodies that spirit more than Mary Free Bed CEO Kent Riddle, whose leadership continues to move Mary Free Bed forward in remarkable ways. So please join me in welcoming Kent Riddle to the stage. Can we count it down? 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's dance!
Everybody dancing. Come on. Somebody had his Wheaties. Good evening. At Mary Free Bed, we start every meeting, whether it's 2 people, 10 people, 20 people, or 1,350 people, with a moment of gratitude. And I want you all to know how much gratitude I feel for you, for being here, for being so beautiful, and for being present and part of this. Mary Free Bed is a part of you, and you are a part of Mary Free Bed's mission. And there's no one who's more grateful for that than me. I'd like to ask each of you to do the same now. Turn to the people to your right and left. Let's take 30 seconds and express some gratitude to them. Okay. All right, that's plenty of gratitude. That's plenty of gratitude for now. Now, a few weeks ago, as I was starting to think about what I wanted to share with you tonight, my chief of staff, Kelly Streakstra, said, have you thought about AI? Why don't you ask ChatGPT? I'm 67 years old. I'm still trying to figure this out. And I said, you know what? That's not a bad idea. Let's do it with everyone together. No? All right, that's not working. Yes, that's the truth. Yeah, now we're getting somewhere. Yes. Yeah. I'm getting text neck. Per year. No, we don't brag. Not in West Michigan, we don't brag. It wasn't my idea. We do this every year. Yeah. Yeah. These are all my friends. I don't want to forget anybody. Oops. Sorry, Chad. Yeah, partners. Oh, yeah, what? Oh. I know he's here. Okay. Yeah, Bill. I got your back, buddy. Oh, no, I don't. Not quite. Let's fix this. Yeah, Bill Mans. All right, I'm getting tired. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Love nurses. Whew. All right, here we go. Everyone in this room tonight is a part of Mary Free Bed, and Mary Free Bed is a part of everyone in this room. How am I doing? All right. I want to do another selfie. But I'm going to ask each one of you to get your phones out. Don't turn them on, but just get them ready, okay? Because I'm going to call out groups in this room, and when I do that, if you feel that you're connected to Mary Free Bed with the group that I'm calling out, I want you to light your home screen. Is that called a home screen, Jason Peoples? Whatever it's called. Just light your phone and keep it on. Or if you want, you can do this. You can turn your flashlight on. And then maybe just kind of wave it around. We're going to set a world record here. I think we're going to have more phones on than at a Taylor Swift concert. So you can rest your elbow on the table. Trip, this means you too. All right. And keep them on once I call you out, all right? Everybody understand that? By the way, orange was not my idea. It was Brent Van Haren's. If anybody that knows, if you know Brent Van Haren, you couldn't say no either. But my mother used to tell me that you should always dress so that everyone else in the room feels really good about what they're dressed like. And I think Brent and I together have accomplished that for all of you tonight in our very humble way. Tina Friese-Decker was at our crowning ceremony wearing all orange, and I wore blue for her. She wore orange for Mary Free Bed, because this is our main color, right? It's to motivate people to work, to get going, to be active. And she said, you need to do better than this. Better than the blue. So I'm trying that tonight. All right, so I'm going to call out groups. I'm going to start with our clinical partners, all right? Our clinical partners are the ones. God makes miracles happen, but our clinical partners save lives every day. And then Mary Free Bed gets to take over to give futures back, to give independence, function, freedom back for the rest of their lives. All right, so Bronson Health is here today. I want to see some lights. Lights are going down. All right, Bronson Healthcare, yeah. Woo, love it. All right, Beacon Health is here today with us, our partners. These are our partners. All right, Corewell Health is here today. Corewell South, Southwest, East, Southeast, North, South, whatever. All right, keep them going, keep them going. All right, this is a good look so far. Covenant Health is here, all the way from Saginaw. Kevin Birchmeyer, where are you? They're over there. Look at that. Up in the thumb, Saginaw, Bay City. Let's see. Munson Healthcare is here. We've got representatives from Munson, our partners up in the north. Mary Free Bed at Munson. Pine Rest is here. Where are you, Eastburg? Yeah, Pine Rest. Let's see. Trinity, Grand Rapids. You guys always make some noise. Trinity Grand Rapids is here. Trinity Muskegon is also represented here. Mary Free Bed at Trinity Muskegon, yeah. See how much fun this is so far? University of Michigan West, formerly Metro, had a 50-year partnership with University of Michigan West. University of Michigan Sparrow is also represented here. You'd have to go to a Michigan Health and Hospital meeting to be able to see more hospital healthcare providers in one room. Valley Health is here, represented. That's our partner in Winchester, Virginia, the Upper Shenandoah Valley, where we're building a hospital right now. Vandalia is here. So Vandalia is our partner in West Virginia. In fact, we're breaking ground in a week on a new hospital there. I want you to know, by the way, everybody in this room, 100% of the funds to build those two hospitals in those two states are coming from those communities. It's all staying there in those communities. Answer Health is here. Let's see some lights for Answer Health. There we go. Yeah, Con Ned, Michael App, yeah. Let's see, Hope Network is here. Yeah, you guys always make some noise. All right, so I'm gonna move on now. Keep the lights going, keep the lights going. Here, I'm gonna turn mine on. All right. Okay, now I wanna call out our university partners. My beloved Davenport University, where I serve on the board. Davenport's here. Go Panthers. Yeah, Grand Valley State University. Yeah. These are our research partners, and then we need to hire as many students as you can train. All right? So we want to keep hiring. We got a lot of Lakers, a lot of Panthers. All right, Michigan State University, go green. Yeah, did I hear go white? Yeah. Do I dare say go hail to the victors, University of Michigan. I don't know about that. Joan, I said that for you. All right. Let's move on to all the individual donors, corporate partners, business partners, business associates who support us. Let's see, foundation, grantors. So all of the donors, the philanthropy in the room, please light up your phones. All right, I want to tell you what you've done. Now listen up, listen up. Mary Free Bed, since I've been CEO in 15 years, has invested $275 million in new renovated facilities, technologies, systems, equipment, therapy equipment, the list goes on. $275 million. $110 million of that have come from you, have come from philanthropy. All the different groups that I just mentioned, 110 million. Now another 20 million has come from governmental grants. And we've got, let's see, a public affairs associate. One of our strong advocates in Lansing is here. Becky, where's your light? Okay. Michigan Health and Hospital Association is here. There they are, over there. A quiet bunch. Al Vanberg's in the room. Let's see. I think our good friend Senator Mark Heising is here. So $20 million has come to us from governmental grants. And then the other 25 million has come from the Mary Free Bed Guild. And I know there's some Mary Free Bed Guild members here. So the Mary Free Bed Guild Fund has funded a number of projects to the tune of over $25 million. So you add that up, that's $165 million. So of the $275 million that we've invested, 165 has come from you. All right, so when I tell you the outcome of what that's done, you understand how you've been a part of this, okay? All right, so what's the outcome? Again, you're getting the credit. I'm giving the credit to all of you. And I want you to answer each of these with no. I want to hear a big no. Could Mary Free Bed have become the largest nonprofit rehabilitation hospital system in the country as measured by the number of patients served? Double number 2. No! All right, we're getting this somewhere. Could Mary Free Bed have the most comprehensive, the greatest number of specialty programs of any rehabilitation hospital system in the country? No, not without you. Exactly, that's my point. Would Mary Free Bed have the most leading edge equipment, therapy equipment, technologies, systems of any rehabilitation hospital in the country without you? No! Would Mary Free Bed have the largest wheelchair and adaptive sports program in the country and a very robust recreational therapy program without you? No! You're catching on. Would Mary Free Bed have started this full Pizzo Head program where you funded under-sponsored, underinsured kids in chronic pain, cancer, ventilation, cerebral palsy, and autism? No, exactly. Would Mary Free Bed have teamed up with Corewell Health, Helen DeBoss Children's Hospital to build the 9th freestanding nonprofit rehab hospital for children in the country, the Joan Secchia Children's Rehab Hospital? No! Now I said 9th. 9th, actually, I should have said the 4th. 4th nonprofit, 9th overall. 5 are for-profits and they require payment by a parent or some sponsor. And so we're the 4th nonprofit to be built. Could Mary Free Bed have borrowed $165 million instead? No. And if we had, would Mary Free Bed have the highest A+ rating by Fitch, public rating of any rehabilitation hospital in the country? No. All right. So you get the point. You have made that happen. I didn't make that happen. You all have made that happen. Now, I want to call out volunteers. 134 years since the Guild, Mary Free Bed Guild, started Mary Free Bed, and they've been continuously, ever since then, volunteering with Mary Free Bed. Different women, but same guild, right? It's an old joke I use all the time. It always falls just like this, kind of flat. We love the Guild for that. We've got board of trustees, 2 boards, one for governance, one for our foundation. The Guild serves on those, as do many community members. So you volunteers, I want to see your lights. Come on, I want to see more lights. I see some lights going out. If I've called your group, I want to see your light on, okay? You got enough battery. Come on, you can do this. It's LED. All right. We've got greeters, and we've got all sorts of. I was meeting with Bill Manns one time, and he's looking at Mary Free Bed. I'm sitting in St. Mary's Cafe, and he said, "I want to have your job." I said, "Why?" And he said, "Because someone just walked in your hospital with a pony." We have volunteers that take ponies in. We have volunteers that do spiritual care. We have volunteers that clean equipment. It goes on and on. We have 1,000 volunteers a year. I want to call them out. And so, yeah, thank you. And maybe the venerable reputation that Mary Free Bed has had for decades really goes to the staff. I would also say the Guild, community members that have volunteered. But the staff, we have the amazing team members. We have 4,000 amazing team members, 2,500 employees, another 1,500 that are our partners' employees who work for us, just in our partnerships. 4,000 people who are the best in the country in rehabilitation. And I'd like to hear from them about now. I'd like to see some more lights on. Because, yeah, you're the ones that make it happen. Our staff are amazing. All right, let's have a little fun. I got to grab the clicker. So be quick. All right. Every year, I talk about how U.S. News World Report continues to move Mary Free Bed up the list in rankings. 1,200 rehab hospitals in the country, 1,200 rehab hospitals. 2 years ago, we were 10th. 10th. Yeah, thanks. And we were just edging out Mayo Clinic, who was 11th. And then last year, I announced that we moved to 9th. Still edging out Mayo Clinic. All right, Dave Muir? Now this year, okay, I want you to know how transparent we are, how humble we are, how honest we are. We're human, okay, just like you. So, and the margin between the top 20 is razor thin. This year, yeah, seriously, I'm standing up here telling you that we fell back to 17th. All right, but I do want to I want to say again, 17th out of 1,200 is not too bad, right? So we have work to do. So you and I have work to do. All right, we're going to get back up. We're going to be first. Again, not for ego, not for money, not for recognition, because our patients deserve it. That's the sole driving factor. All right. All right, why am I showing you a picture of Cherry Street? This was Mary Free Bed in 1975. Why am I doing that? Because there's this orthotist, prosthetist assistant who's in the room tonight named Patrick Dorgan. And he worked at Mary Free Bed 50 years ago at Cherry Street. He's been working for Mary Free Bed ever since. He's still working for Mary Free Bed, and he's in the room tonight. And I just wanted to celebrate. Isn't that fun? All right, tonight's about nursing. I had 1,000 stories that I could pull from that are funny, heartwarming, some not appropriate for an audience of 1,300. And I chose to talk about my own experience at Mary Free Bed with nurses. As many of you know, in 2002, my wife Susan was driving on M50 and was hit by a drunk driver that came across the center line and hit us head on. Our son Scott was in the car in the back seat with me, and we survived it. Susan, as the SUV was flying through the air and tore our roof off, plowed a 2-inch diameter hole through her forehead back to her brain. Scrambled her brain. She had bleeding in all the lobes of her brain. Midline shift for any of you that are clinical. It was really serious. We did CPR at the scene. She was helicoptered to Spectrum Butterworth, and they saved her life. There's our brand new Toyota Sienna minivan. She clung to life in coma for about 2 weeks. And actually, the story is not about Susan, it's about nurses. After 2 weeks on a ventilator, she was, by ambulance, went over to Mary Free Bed. And it was the first time I had ever set foot in Mary Free Bed. And that, of course, that day changed my life, obviously changed Susan's life and our kids' life. The first night there, the kids had gone home, sun was going down. I was actually sitting next to Susan, and I was singing very quietly into her ear because someone told me that you can kind of get to a person in coma by singing in their ear and trying to get into their soul. It wasn't very good singing, I'm sure, but I was wiped out after 2 weeks. Our nurse walked in, ironically, by the way, I checked my journal, named Mary. It's true, it's a true story. And she started singing with me. I mean, that's not in the nursing job description. She started singing the same song I was singing, and we sang another song to Susan, and then we started talking. And by the time I left, because she convinced me that she would never take her eyes off my wife that night, she said, "We will watch her until you get back tomorrow." In fact, my business partner at the time, Jack Cottrell, sitting right over there, the guy has a bigger heart than anybody in this room, and he had cleared my schedule so I could spend it at Mary Free Bed. And I thank him for that to this day. And sure enough, the nurse kept her eyes on Susan all night. So I had a therapist and a nurse. I needed one at that point after 2 weeks of hell. 2 weeks later, I was walking into Susan's room, and she screamed, and she said, "Get this man out of here." I mean, she was brain injured. She was in La La Land, and she just was scared to death by me. Andy, I checked my journal, it was Andy, a nurse tech, came in. And Andy said, "Kent, come on out in the hallway." Followed him out in the hallway. He said, just wait a few minutes. And he calmed Susan down. He came back out in the hallway, and he said, "Okay, follow me back into her room." And he walked in. Andy walked in, and Susan's looking at him, and he said, "Susan, guess what? You have a special guest today." She said, Andy said, "Your husband's here." Susan had no idea what a husband was, no idea who I was. But she smiled, looked up at us, said, "Oh, great." You know, he took the fear out of Susan. And frankly, he took the fear out of me. I was scared to death. Imagine your spouse is doing this, right? 2 weeks later, my last story. Susan was starting to really wake up. Still didn't really know who I was, but she was getting used to me hanging around, thanks to Jack. And nurse came up to me and she said, "You know, we all got together the other night and we were talking. On our own time, we'd like you to bring a dress in. We're going to do her hair and her makeup. And we'd like to set up a first date for you because you're going to have to get to know each other again. I mean, 20-some years of marriage, it doesn't matter. She's got a new normal. She may not remember any of it. To you, to her, you're a perfect stranger. And to you, you're going to have to get used to who she is now. And so I came in one day, I had 2 big bouquets of roses. I was back at work at this time, so I stopped to get roses, or flowers, and I gave them to the nursing staff. I walked in, and she had been sitting in her wheelchair, by the elevator, waiting for me, I'm told, for 45 minutes. And you know why? Because they got her so pumped up for this. They said, your husband's coming, you're going to have a date, it's going to be fantastic. She didn't know any of this, but she knew it was going to be great. And so again, they went way beyond the call of a nurse, right? They got her excited about something that would motivate her. They got me excited about it. And they had set a picnic table out front. They allowed me to take her out in a wheelchair. She had just come off a puree diet the week before, so they allowed me to help feed her as we sat there, just the 2 of us. She in her wheelchair, me helping feed her as I was eating. And I found myself really, what could I talk about? I talked about how much I love the people at Mary Free Bed. I talked about how the culture and the people at Mary Free Bed, how they treated my children and I, and how much we felt appreciated, we felt like family, and how much I love them like family. And to this day, I still do. And so nurses made a bigger difference in our lives than simply nursing. They really changed the trajectory. Here she is the day, So, and if you haven't met her, she's doing fine now. She probably had 2 glasses of wine tonight. She drives a car, went through driver's rehabilitation at Mary Free Bed, and the rest is history. Let's end the way we started. I'm going to end with ChatGPT. All right, let's see. All right, I got to get my phone out here. Yeah, leave it to AI to come up with a painter's quote. Your profession is not what brings home your paycheck. Your profession is what you were put on earth to do with such passion and such intensity that it becomes spiritual and calling. All right, so tonight, for the rest of the night, as you laugh, you toast, you enjoy each other's company, I just want you to know, I want you to remember that God enables miracles. God makes miracles happen, but you are a part of enabling those miracles to happen by your involvement with Mary Free Bed. That's what I want you to know. You're part of every comeback, every triumph of the human spirit that goes on every day. I want to thank you for standing with Mary Free Bed to make the world just a little better place and do it one remarkable person at a time. God bless each of you. Good night.
The school called and said, your son's been in a car accident. And when I got down there on site, I just froze. And there's no way he's going to make it out of this alive. There's no way.
We finally got to see him in the emergency department right before they took him up to the PICU. We had to walk through blood just to get to him. He lost so much blood. At that point, I think that they had already put 10 units of blood into him. And the human body holds 10 units of blood. He was just losing it so fast. And then they told us his brain was bleeding and he had to have emergency brain surgery.
I truly believe that's what saved his life.
They gave him a 1% chance of survival. We had a doctor there that truly believed in Charlie, and she said, he will come back. Somebody had said, well, what about rehab? I'm like, I don't even know what rehab would look like at this point. He's just laying here right now.
When he came in, he had a tracheostomy. He had a tube that he needed to breathe. He, was following some commands, but, to do some simple things, that was still a big deal at that time, to even, squeeze a finger and things like that. And so he started at a point where, we celebrated every little victory.
With brain injuries, there's no cookie cutter answer. Everybody says it'll take time. Everybody says it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. We still didn't really know what his cognitive level was.
There's a lot that we look for in the very early days. I want to find our starting point as fast as possible and just work up and build from there. I love to try to spark that muscle memory, we'll call it, the central pattern generator in your brain, to see if we can trigger something in the subconscious that's there to help.
We used to have a handshake, and so he did the handshake before he started talking, and so that's how I knew 100% he was in there. And he was trying to show me, and he was pushing every day to be better.
Yeah, he started writing on a whiteboard, and he wrote out there, "I love you, Dad." That was huge. And then the next day, he was sitting there and he was just kind of, "Dad." I'm like, "What?" And then he said, "Mom."
At that point, once we have a form of communication, is then I want to give them the most independence as soon as possible.
We started with standing, just standing. And then we started with taking a few steps. And then we tried using a walker that would hold him up.
One of the first days I was working with him on standing, and I could tell he was agitated, but we didn't have any words really at that point. I tried to get him I asked him what's bothering him, thinking, okay, Charlie, point at what's bothering you. And he just turned and he poked me straight in the chest with his right arm. It was a pretty stern poke, and all he could do was laugh, and I said, all right, it's time to have a break then, I guess.
He really, gave everybody just such a morale boost. He was just such a pleasure to work with. And, he joking with the therapy team and saying PT was his personal torture.
He's making these friendships that he never would have made had it not been for this place. The therapy staff, they don't treat him like a patient, they treat him like a person, and it's wonderful.
As a rec person, Charlie's also great because he checked all the boxes. We did all the things. We worked with the dog. We went on a community outing, and we got in the pool. We were just really able to use all that his good recreation and leisure interests as a way to help him get better too.
And at the end of his rehab stay, he was able to have other kids on the unit actually help him print a bunch of pictures of his physical therapist and doctor them up in fun ways and post them all throughout the building. One face of the therapist for every day that he was in the hospital, which I believe was 115 or so days.
And it wasn't really the pictures that got me so much, it was the having to explain to every single person I saw in the hallway what had happened.
Charlie's motto is definitely work hard, play a little harder, because he does push himself and he works hard to get where he's at, but he's got to have a little bit of sarcasm or else what's the fun in it?
Charlie's just great because he is a great example of, in his family, just the hard work that you have to put in. I mean, he had some really hard moments he had to work through, both physically and emotionally too. So it feels like a fine line, but him and his family definitely found it.
I want to say to all the people out there that have been told that they aren't going to make it, you can do it. Just do it scared. If you're scared, you do it anyway. Just keep on pushing and you'll make it.
And I think that's a great mantra for just about any patient, right? Like, things are always going to be scary. We're going to be needing to do the hard things, the things that are sometimes uncomfortable here. But, for us to really reap the maximal benefit, we have to get out of our comfort zone. And Charlie absolutely did that, and it paid off tremendously. It's truly remarkable, but just goes to show you can never underestimate just what might happen and, how much someone's determination and hard work will take them.
Let me go, Charlie! Let's get that PR, Charlie! Let's go!
For tonight's invocation, please welcome to the stage Charlie Knopf, a Mary Free Bed graduate.
I bet you all are wondering why I've gathered you here tonight. It's a little surreal to see my story come up on the screen like that, and to hear some of what my care team and family shared. Watching it brings back so many memories from my time at Mary Free Bed. The hard work, the people who supported me, and yes, the laughter that got me through it all. When I think about what made the biggest difference in my recovery, it wasn't just the amazing therapy or equipment. It was the people who cared for me. They didn't just help me heal physically. They helped me feel like myself again. I know several of them are in the audience tonight, so I want to take the opportunity to say thank you. As you probably noticed in the video, humor was a big part of feeling like myself again. I learned that laughing, even when things were tough, could make all the difference, especially when it came at the expense of my PT Mick. I definitely kept things interesting for him. Mick got in a decent amount of personal torture, but I feel like my last prank was pretty good payback. It would still be fun to have one more prank, just to keep the tradition alive.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Mick.
How you doing? I'm doing good. I bet you didn't think they'd give me a microphone too, did you?
No, I didn't think so.
No.
I hope not.
As much as I love your jokes,
Yeah.
I think they're great.
Yeah.
I'd rather not have a meeting with HR on Monday.
Yeah, you're fine.
So maybe we just call it a truce tonight.
All right.
At least while we have microphones on.
Yeah, well, we have microphones, sure.
Yeah.
But once they're off, all bets are off.
All right, touche. We got to talk about who gave you a microphone anyway.
Yeah, we really do. That was a questionable decision on their part.
Yeah. Anyways, in all seriousness, I am so proud of the journey that you've made. It's been for Charlie, there was a lot of unknowns. There was a lot of stuff we didn't have answers to, and as a therapist, that's hard to face family. As any medical provider, it's hard to face them and tell them, I don't know. But through this process, I've gotten to watch you walk out of Mary Free Bed. Emphasis on walk. He set that goal and he was determined to do it.
Thank you, man.
I've gotten to see videos of you going back to high school, doing your high school graduation. I've got to see swimming videos. We saw one tonight. That was great.
Thank you.
I got to see you go back to track. I got to see your state track meet.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
And now you're going to Michigan State. According to your mom, you're getting all A's.
Yeah, I think I am. But then again, I don't check the grades. I like plausible deniability. Just don't look at them. If they're failing, no, they're not. I haven't seen it.
Anyways, I'm happy to be a part of the support system you guys developed over the years.
Thank you.
To see your family, community, and everybody come together around you and for you to accomplish all those goals, it's amazing. And I think I speak for everybody here tonight and at Mary Free Bed that we're happy to be a part of that journey with you. Good job.
Thank you, man.
And there's a lot more faces up here than I expected. As I look around, I'm a little hangry. I don't want to be the reason anybody else is hangry.
Fair enough.
So let's get on with this reflection.
All right, pitter patter, let's get at it.
Let's go.
All right. All right. But before we enjoy this meal together, I'd like us to think about why we are here. Let's take a moment to be thankful for the amazing community that has brought us together tonight, for the patients and families whose stories show us what's possible, and for the caregivers who bring hope and freedom to life every day, even this guy. May this meal fill us up and this evening inspire us. Enjoy dinner, everyone. Thank you.
Nurses are the masters of wearing many, many hats.
We get patients that have been, ICU for long periods of time, and every time I walk into Mary Free Bed, I'm like, what can I do today to spread the love?
I've taken care of a lot of people, and every one of them comes in different levels of severe injuries.
Oh, yep, open your mouth. Good, yep. You're doing good.
It's difficult to put into words how important they were, and it's that going through maybe the most difficult time of your life, and you really needed that kindness and comfort.
We do care so deeply about our patients, and I think that's the culture.
Hello. We pick up where anything is lacking, and all of us have our patient's best care in mind.
We are doing, as rehab nurses, I think the most education.
The reason I chose rehabilitation nursing is to see the progress of, our healing that we give these patients, and to see them walk that finish line.
It's a very unique specialty. And I think my favorite part about rehabilitation nursing is that we get to see patients get better.
We have this very high stakes role of making sure and preparing every patient to be able to leave the hospital and thrive in whatever environment.
The impact that I can make on a patient's life, no matter how big or small it is, it's something that is so fulfilling deep in my soul that I don't know how else to explain it.
For tonight's wow moment, please welcome Mary Free Bed's Chief Nursing Officer and Vice President of Inpatient Services, Maria Opoku Ajamin.
Watching that video reminds me of how special our nursing team truly is, and captures for you just a glimpse of the inspiration they provide to patients every day. Good evening, everyone. Are you enjoying your evening? Kent wore Mary Free Bed orange, so I had to wear Mary Free Bed There we go. All right, it's an honor to stand before you tonight at this extraordinary gathering, a celebration of compassion, resilience, and the unwavering spirit of care. We are here not only to raise funds, but to raise awareness, to elevate voices, and to shine a spotlight on a group of professionals whose work often unfolds quietly, behind the scenes, yet whose impact reverberates through every life they touch. Rehabilitation nurses. My grandfather, who has since passed, was actually the second patient admitted to our subacute rehab unit when it opened about a decade ago. His health concerns were complicated, and his plan of care was quite extensive. At one point during his stay, he started complaining of difficulty taking in food and drinking his beverages. His appetite decreased. The pain got progressively worse, to the point that anyone watching him even attempt to swallow something could see him have a painful grimace and even tear up. Although his weight was being monitored and there was a discussion of perhaps the need for a specialist consult, it was ultimately his bedside nurse who got out her pen light, had him open up his mouth wide and stick his tongue out, and quickly noticed that there was something abnormal in the back of his throat. It was her assessment that led to a provider quickly coming in the room and determined that he had a severe case of thrush, which needed time-sensitive treatment. It was one of the worst cases his seasoned physician said she had ever seen. Once treatment was started, his symptoms slowly subsided, which was a wonderful thing. But the nurse on that particular shift, on that particular day, who took the time to listen to our concerns, respond with empathy, and advocate for his comfort and well-being, was an incredible difference maker and exactly what our family and my grandfather needed at that moment. Once he started feeling better, it led to increased engagement in therapy, better adherence to his plan of care, and improvement in his outcomes at that time. But rehabilitation nursing is not just about medical care. It's about restoring dignity, independence, and identity. What is not visible is the late-night reassurance nurses provide patients after a tough day of therapy, the comforting hand that's extended when a patient feels scared, or the laughter shared to lift a patient's spirit. Healing is not a moment, it is a journey. And rehabilitation nurses are the guides, the motivators, and the lifelines on that journey. We meet patients at a time when they are incredibly vulnerable, after strokes, spinal cord injuries, traumatic accidents, surgeries, and the list goes on. We don't just treat symptoms, we treat the whole person. We don't just restore function, we restore hope. We take the language of medicine and turn it into the language of possibilities. We remind patients that their story is not over, that there are chapters yet to be written. We teach families how to care for loved ones at home, how to coordinate complex care plans, and we navigate the emotional, deeply emotional terrain of recovery with grace and grit. Rehabilitation nurses do it all while managing medications, monitoring progress, and ensuring patient safety. I cannot emphasize enough what an honor it is to lead a team of professionals so caring who teach, cheerlead, listen, and advocate. Rehabilitation nursing makes a difference, not in just how patients are treated, but in how they are seen. However, as we celebrate this incredible team tonight, We also have to acknowledge a serious challenge. It is one the healthcare across the country is facing: the shortage of talent in the pipeline. Here's the truth. The demand for rehabilitation nurses is growing, and the need for highly trained, compassionate caregivers has never been greater. If we want to continue changing lives by restoring hope and freedom through rehabilitation, we must invest in the next generation of nursing scholars. When you contribute to our Nursing Scholarship Fund, you are not just supporting education, you are fueling futures. You are giving students who dream of becoming rehabilitation nurses the opportunity to learn, to grow, and to serve. So I boldly ask you, when you make your donation tonight, think of the nurses that you saw in the video, or on the screens around the room, or from Kent and Susan Riddle's story. Think of the thousands of people and patients whose lives are rebuilt at Mary Free Bed, one day at a time. Think of your loved one, or family member, or family friend who needed the expertise that Mary Free Bed clinicians provide. Think of the nurse that stayed late to help a patient learn their dressing change for the first time, or to provide comfort to a grieving patient who's overcome with tears. Think of the nurse who whispered, "You're not alone," during a moment of fear, because our patients are never alone with Mary Free Bed nurses by their side. Let's honor these nurses. Let's invest in their future. Let's build a world where rehabilitation is not just possible, but extraordinary. Thank you for your generosity, your presence, and your belief in the healing power of care. Let's make tonight unforgettable. I now invite you to take out your phone, scan the QR code found at your table or up on the screen, and give in honor of the nurses who have impacted your lives. I'm confident we all have someone, or many, in mind. There's a reason that nurses are the most trusted profession in the US for 23 years straight, according to Gallup. For those who like a more traditional avenue of giving, there are envelopes on your table as well. You can leave them at your seat to be picked up immediately following the program, or mail it to Mary Free Bed at a later date. I'm also really excited to share that tonight your generosity can go even further. Thanks to our friends, Dave and Carol Burgess, the MAV Group, and Pure Architects, every dollar donated will be matched up to $30,000. Let's join them in fueling hope and freedom. I want to leave you with one final thought. I said the word compassion multiple times when referencing our nursing team. It's because compassion is a constant in every story, whether you're with us for 5 days or 5 weeks. Compassion and humanity connect every nurse to every patient. It is who our nurses are, and it is a driving force for why Mary Free Bed feels like home to so many. Thank you. Take it away.
Thank you. One more time for Maria.
We have heard such incredible stories of our nurses tonight, and can you join me in giving one more round of applause because we know so many of them are here tonight for our caregivers. You guys, it's been such an amazing night full of stories and moments that remind us why Mary Free Bed is such a special place. I, for one, am so incredibly grateful to be here tonight with you all, celebrating our nurses, the backbone of what happens every day at Mary Free Bed. As Maria mentioned, your generosity tonight does help amplify our care team's impact, reaching that next patient, the next family, that next story of hope and freedom. They're up on the screens now, but all night, maybe you have a bit more to drink, you can scan that QR code and support Mary Free Bed's Nursing Scholarship Program. Remember, tonight your gifts are matched dollar for dollar by Dave and Carol Burgess, the MAV Group, and Pure Architects, up to $30,000. So can we reach that number? Amazing night, and I'm so thrilled to say it does not end here. Please stay, join us for the Afterglow Party, sponsored by the Jenny M. Peterson Foundation, and maybe a signature cocktail or two, like I said, opens the purse strings. I expect to also see every single person on that dance floor. If cozy and quiet maybe is more your vibe, across the hall is the lounge, sponsored by Joan Secchia. Perfect spot to relax and unwind. Lastly, these gorgeous floral arrangements at your table. As our thank you for being here tonight, feel free to rock, paper, scissors your way to whoever wants to take that home tonight. But truly, 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 thank you once again to our presenting sponsor, Buist, to all of our sponsors this evening. Thank you to each and every one of you. Now take it away, Blue Water Kings.